Lydia Chirilla, Rockdale Career Academy. Lydia is in her 9th year teaching and teaches interior design, fashion design, and textile science. She enjoys being outside, camping, playing ultimate frisbee, doing home renovation projects, reading, and mentoring high school students in the summer. She enjoys traveling the country with her husband and being a cat mom to her 2 Siamese cats. She says it is incredibly rewarding when students who have graduated come back to share what an impact she made on their lives. One in particular stands out. Because of her influence and the students' positive experience, she went to UGA to study family and consumer science education. She went to school to hopefully one day do her exact job. The student developed a passion for interiors and fashion, and instead of pursuing one of those as a career, she chose to invest in the next generation and studied to become a teacher. She might even be student teaching with her this year.
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to teach. I knew it from a really young age. I just felt it on my spirit as a calling. I've always had a very loud, vibrant personality, and so you could ask any of my friends that they would have probably seen that I was going to be a teacher. As far as the content of design, it's in my blood. My mom was an interior designer and her dad was an architect. And so I grew up, I was homeschooled a couple years, 3rd and 4th grade, and I spent a lot of time right next to my mom. She was an artist and a designer, and I, from being really little, just learned to appreciate color and texture and light. And our minds work really differently, but she helped me see the world differently. And she is a lot of my inspiration. I think I could probably get excited about teaching anything. It's just in my nature. Like, I'm not into history or English, but I could probably teach it because I love students. I love sharing knowledge, but it's the design world that I feel really passionate about. So it's a really a sweet mix of loving the content and having a heart and a history with it, but also loving teaching because I want to, impact kids' lives.
Quinsweller Taylor, Edwards Middle School. Quinsweller has been teaching for 13 years and currently teaches 6th grade mathematics. She loves karaoke, although she says she can't sing. She also loves to read and spend time with family, including her 2 boys. She also volunteers tutoring for math through her church and is in the process of renovating an old small school bus to use as a math lab in the community. She says her first true love was education, and finding a way to push each student to reach his or her maximum potential is her goal as a teacher. Her most memorable experiences include those when students contacted her and shared their success stories. Another was when she was awarded the Life Changer of the Year award. She was nominated by a former student who referenced her as a life changer because he disliked math until he entered into her classroom. Now, as an engineer, he says he owes his success to her.
Because education was my first love. So I want those students to feel that same type of love that I felt when I fell in love for the very first time. And I talked about that a lot, trying to make them fall in love with education. But it takes a passionate, teacher that will, relay that type of love to them. They hate fractions, but when I come in and I tell them that I love fraction, they're like, oh Lord, here go this lady again. But at the end, they fall in love with it. And that right there, it gets me so excited because the light bulbs come on and it's like, man, Miss Taylor, I'm not afraid of fractions anymore. And I'm like, I told you, you would never be afraid of it if you just fall in love with it. I promise you it'll work.
Tara Telke, Rockdale County High School. Tara has been teaching art for 17 years. She loves to paint, craft, read, garden, and travel. She has 3 cats and 3 children in college. She volunteers through an environmental club that recycles and composts, plants trees, builds bird and bee sanctuaries, participates in local litter cleanups, and spreads awareness of environmental issues. She is thrilled whenever a student returns to take her class again, or reaches out to her after graduation, and continues to make beautiful and meaningful artwork. She loves to see how they use their creative skills to make the world a better and more beautiful place.
I love making art, but I think the main thing for me was I had a fabulous high school art teacher. His name was Daniel Weiss, and believe it or not, I was not even a good reader when I got to high school. He made me passionate about learning. He made me literally just fall in love with the process of learning, and everything. I think I learned about politics, and I learned about science, and I learned about literature through my art class. And suddenly, even though I wasn't good at reading, I was motivated to become good at reading. He made me feel valuable, and he made me feel empowered. By my senior year, I realized that he was kind of passing on a torch that I really needed to pass on to other people. That what he had done for me, making me feel good about myself, empowering me. Here, when I was looking at job possibilities, I couldn't even believe it. I hadn't planned on going into art, certainly not education, and the way he had impacted me, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.